The easy part was for Biden to just get them out, let the soldiers stay, the remaining soldiers, and take care of everything. It's called Soldiers Outlast. I went to a child who was 5 years old. You've heard me say this. I said, let me ask you a question. I gave him the whole story. Would you take the soldiers out first, or would you take them out last? I'd take them out last. He was 5, and he understood.
The House Republicans now in the middle of the greatest crisis, European crisis regarding war since World War II, openly attacking and bashing the President of the United States, saying that he is, quote, weak. He's weak. This is what weakness looks like on the world stage. House Republicans, you should bow your head in shame.
Are you fucking retarded? The hell's the matter with you?
You should bow your head in shame. You're a disgrace to America.
Shove it up your ass.
You should bow your head in shame. You're a disgrace to America.
Joe Biden is weak.
I think given what's unfolded, sadly, with a lot of weakness in the United States, they just decided to go for it.
Go for it.
I mean, it looks like they're going for it.
Go for it!
Donald Trump says it looks like Putin could have been satisfied with the peacemaking, but the weakness, incompetence and stupidity of the Biden administration has now changed his mind.
How he sees the weakness and the incompetence and the stupidity of this administration.
The former president said, as an American, he's angry and sad.
And as an American, I'm angry about it and I'm saddened by it.
Putin, who is not afraid of Biden, he sees him as weak, he sees him as rudderless. He doesn't think he's going to do anything to him. So if he wants to take Ukraine, now's his shot.
And given Russia's recent history, we need to judge it by its deeds, not its words. Don't tell us, show us, President Putin.
The video was posted on social media by the Ukrainian parliament showing the attack striking at an administration building, creating that incredible blast. It happened in an area known as Freedom Square, considered a civilian area. Several cars were driving by at the time.
Don't tell us, show us, President Putin.
An apparent assassination attempt in Ukraine's second largest city as a missile strikes a government building in Kharkiv. Ukraine now under assault from multiple directions as Russian forces are closing in now on Kyiv, the capital.
Don't tell us, show us, President Putin.
Look at this satellite photo, a 40-mile-long Russian convoy just outside the capital city of Kyiv as Ukrainians battle for their lives and their freedom against the Russian invasion.
Don't tell us, show us, President Putin.
A cluster bomb, which is alleged to have also been used in Kharkiv. What a cluster bomb is, it's a bomb that releases high in the sky and releases a bunch of little bomblets. It can spread over the area as large as a football field. It's considered illegal by most nations to use in warfare simply because you can't aim all the bomblets. You can hit the civilian population.
Don't tell us, show us, President Putin.
We've got reports of a direct hit with artillery on that military base, resulting in somewhere around 70 dead Ukrainian soldiers, according to the information we're getting out there now.
Vladimir Putin, Father, doesn't want me to be president. No, I'm serious.
Donald Trump, with all his rhetoric, would literally make us less safe. We cannot elect a man who belittles our closest allies while embracing dictators like Vladimir Putin.
I have met with him. He's bright. He's tough.
While embracing dictators like Vladimir Putin.
He's bright. He's tough. And I have found that he is as they say, when he used to play ball, a worthy adversary.
But Joe Biden would hold Russia to account for any threat to our nation's security or to our troops.
I say he's not competent to be president. To be president, you have to be sharp and tough and so many other things. Joe doesn't know he's alive, okay? He doesn't know he's alive.
Meanwhile, the president's still facing multiple crises at home, including record inflation, a border disaster, and his approval rating has been plummeting.
And you know what? If Biden got in,
the whole country would go to hell.
The administration, basically, on the Obama model, is for weakness. They avoid war, frankly, by accepting surrender of their own interests.
So I think this is a perfect time where people are seeing the true hypocrisy of the Democrats and seeing what a complete failure and weak President Joe Biden is.
Putin can smell Biden's weakness a mile off.
Biden, following in the footsteps of Barack Obama, has been very, very weak-kneed in terms of the response on the Russian front.
Biden is a weak president who's going down the weak line, which has made China and Russia the two most dominant countries.
Hey, pull my finger.
I pooed a little.
True international effort to pressure.
If we had a robust fossil fuel industry, Europe wouldn't need Putin. We could supply all that energy. But Biden tried to destroy it because of the Green New Deal. Can we have a hiatus from that, please, in the face of perhaps a world war? Please? You don't destroy your energy infrastructure until you have another one developed to take its place. Biden doesn't know any of this because he's not smart enough, and he's weak, and he's a puppet of the progressives.
The floor is yours, Senator.
Well, Vladimir Putin for 20 years has wanted to reassemble the Russian empire. He's had that imperialist ambition since he took office. I think what he's seen over the last 6 months is a perception of weakness and opportunity. He saw our withdrawal from Afghanistan. He began building up these troops on the border of Ukraine just a few weeks later. He also saw a long series of one-sided concessions that President Biden gave to him, and I believe that's why he calculated that he could go for the jugular now in Ukraine, which is what he's always wanted to do.
The debacle that took place in Afghanistan, in my mind, he saw as weakness on the part of the United States, weakness in judgment, not just in execution, in judgment in terms of a policy failure, and he saw it as opportunity.
To see the way the Biden administration has handled Ukraine is a testament to a historic truth, that weakness arouses evil.
Trump projected strength. Putin took note. He didn't try anything on when Trump was there.
I am purely disgusted and embarrassed on behalf of our country that we have a president that is so incredibly weak that he allowed this to happen. When President Trump was in office, he was a strong president. He made America strong, and we had peace through strength, and that was all over the world.
The world is always safer when America has a strong president. America has to be strong, and it needs strong leadership. And you see what happens when you have bad, weak, or incompetent leadership.
The fact is that I've gone head-to-head with Putin and made it clear to him we're not going to take any of his stuff. He's Putin's puppy. He still refuses to even say anything to Putin about the bounty on the heads of American soldiers.
Your son got $3.5 million.
And by the way...
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list. 17 intelligence agencies, civilian and military, who have all concluded that these espionage attacks, these cyber attacks, come from the highest levels of the Kremlin, and they are designed to influence our election.
Would Vladimir Putin be invading Ukraine if Donald Trump was still president?
There are Americans left behind. It is unacceptable. It's as if they literally ignore what is happening on the ground.
That if Donald Trump were president, Putin would not be doing this. And the reason he has 70 to 90,000 troops on the Ukrainian border, he's testing Joe Biden after Afghanistan.
I think the answer is unlikely. Putin has been emboldened by the Biden White House, the weakness and incompetence of the Biden administration.
You know, I was at the State Department. The president was the vice president the last time Russia invaded Ukraine. This is a pattern of horror from President Putin and from the cronies around him.
Well, Jen Psaki has been trolled online for pointing out that Joe Biden has been a leader during both times Russia invaded Ukraine. Vladimir Putin decided to invade Ukraine last week, but in 2014, Russia also invaded the Crimea area of Ukraine when Joe Biden was serving as Barack Obama's vice president.
It's rather ironic that the left and the media pushed crazy conspiracy theories about Trump being some sort of a Russian asset when Trump consistently implemented policies that weakened Russia and its position in the world.
62% of Americans believe that Russia would not have invaded Ukraine if Trump was still president, which kind of misses the point. Trump, as president, was a Russian invasion of us. And as far as this fairy tale about him being tough on Putin, remember when our U.S. intelligence informed our president that Russia did everything they could to disrupt our election, and then when given the choice to side with Putin or our own FBI and CIA, guess who he picked?
Guess who he picked?
Yes or no, say whether or not you believe that President Putin and or Russia interfered in the election. That's what I said there is that I believe he believes that, and that's very important for somebody to believe. I believe that he feels that he and Russia did not meddle in the election. As to whether I believe it or not, I'm with our agencies, especially as currently constituted with their leadership.
And then when given the choice to side with Putin or our own FBI and CIA, guess who he picked?
I believe in our intel agencies, our intelligence agencies. I've worked with them very strongly.
Guess who he picked? What happened there is Mr. Tough Guy looked into Putin's eyes and soaked his depends. And that was the end of that.
Was all I heard. True international effort to pressure.
Since the year 2000, we've had 4 presidents, and Russia has invaded another country during 3 of the 4. He did not invade any country under President Trump.
I don't think Vladimir Putin would have moved on Ukraine were it not for the weakness displayed certainly by the Biden administration, but also by the West in general.
The Biden approach is to coddle and reward people no matter what they do. The Trump approach was, if you don't help me do the right thing, I'm going to crush you. That was the Ronald Reagan approach. You know Ronald Reagan well.
Openly attacking and bashing the President of the United States, saying that he is, quote, weak. Whoever the clown was that tweeted that out obviously doesn't understand geopolitics, doesn't understand what strength is.
Why do we have a problem with China, Russia, and Iran? They see Biden is not up to the task. They're testing his mettle, and they're finding out he's the Tin Man.
And what about those military contract dogs left behind by the U.S. military? In another attempt to gloat, the Taliban is insisting the dogs will be rounded up. Apparently, they were let out by our military, roaming the airport. They'll be rounded back up and put back into service, says the Taliban, working on behalf of Taliban forces. This is just another cruel piece of irony Joe Biden enabled. I don't necessarily even believe it. They'll probably be eating those dogs. That's how sad this is.
Where the hell is Joe Biden?
Well, I think he'd be at the microphones, but the soup's served at 4, so he's back. I'm sorry, but it's just, that's kind of where we are with him now. It's like, what time do they serve the pudding at the White House? And then we'll hopefully hear from the leader of the free world. Just stand by. And some sort of rambling gobbledygook that it takes us, like, you have to hold on to every word to see if he can get it out in a way that we can understand. That's the leader of the free world right now. That's the president of the United States.
True international effort to pressure.
Yesterday, a journalist asked President Biden if he had underestimated Putin. Let's have a look at his response.
Do you think you may have underestimated Putin?
Thank you. Time to move. Thank you.
Whoever the clown was that tweeted that out obviously doesn't understand geopolitics, doesn't understand what strength is.
Yep, he looked confused and uncomfortable, and then he picked at his teeth. Doesn't exactly fill one with confidence about the leader of the free world.
And now more than ever, we need to send a clear message of American strength.
This is Joe Biden's fault.
Steve, how do you think Biden is handling Putin so far?
You know, Poppy, I think pretty well so far.
Whoa, man, I swear to God, I'm on a roll. Got
got these rappers looking at me thinking hashtag goals. Man, I run it, be gunning with nothing. I summoned all of the blood and guts in my stomach to get a dub and become this. The boys cold. Better get some cocoa and a cold. Put 150,000 around my neck, my chest is froze. I kill it like the hitman who worked for Hillary Clinton. When a witness finds her emails, that'll get her sent to prison. I'm a big star with some big balls, like spit bars and the shit's all tight. Pissed off, I go